ice. He knew where the space was. He knew where everybody was on the ice. It was all
Canadian Mike. Canadian Mike from Fox Sports Radio here with Kings legend Marty McSorley. Marty, I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. It's playoff time in the NHL. I want to take you back to 1993. Kings Leafs conference finals, Game 6 in Los Angeles. Was it a high stick on Doug Gilmour by Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, absolutely it was. It was one of many things that went on during the course of the series. I mean, there was headbutts, there was people hauled down from behind in breakaways. There was so many things that the referees really didn't want to change the series or decide the series. Now, some people say, well, that's not right, but if that's the case, then they're going to go back to 8 minutes before that when Rob Blake hit a clear-cut breakaway and gets pulled down from behind, or different things that had gone on over the course of that series. And it was a hard-fought series by two talented teams that really went head-to-head. And, I mean, to continue to go back and finger one instance in a game, there were 7 games played.
There are people in Toronto that are still willing to go and take a shot at Kerry Frazier. They wanted to kill Kerry Frazier after he made that call in Game 6.
Well, I mean, there was other instances in the playoffs that people look at and say, wish Kerry Frazier would have made a call in other series and other games. But Kerry Frazier's not alone. A lot of the referees at that time let the guys play. The old rumor is you almost had to maim a guy to get a penalty in the playoffs, and that was how it was at that time. And it's I watch now where people say how dirty it is, and I think we've got short memories if we want to believe that, because those playoffs were played very, very hard. God, I had guys dumping the pucks in and were shooting pucks at my head, coming to the red line to dump it in on line change. So there was things that went on in the course of those series.
You hear in the NFL now people talk about this Bountygate. There's this bounty issue going on. Coaches and players are saying, go after that guy and we'll give you some money. Does that type of stuff go on in the NHL where they say, why don't you go take a run at Sedin? His head's a little messed up right now. Go try and knock him out of the game.
No, it definitely does not come from coaches or general managers. Absolutely not. Now, the players know that they're going to start a game, and from a Kings standpoint, they're looking at Henrik and Daniel, and they're going to really try to finish them every opportunity they can. If they can finish them and finish them really hard, and it's going to make it very, very hard for these guys every game that they play in, and that's where I think the lack of having a tough guy, a heavyweight, who put respect and honor into the game, I think it's missed. I don't think our stars can withstand that. With Guy Lafleur and Wayne Gretzky and all these great players that we've had in the past, would they have been able to withstand getting hit hard every game? No, heck no.
Marty, what made Wayne Gretzky so good?
Oh boy, you talk about Daniel coming back tonight and making everybody around him that much better. I know when Wayne was on the ice, I could cheat as a defenseman because he didn't throw the puck away. His percentages were so sound. He bought himself space on the ice. He knew where the space was. He knew where everybody was on the ice. It was almost like he was playing the game in slow motion. In his own mind, that the game appeared that slow, and he kind of pick it apart and see.
I hear vision about Wayne Gretzky. He had amazing vision. That's what I hear people say.
He put himself in a position. He was behind the net. He had everybody in front of him. He knew when a guy cheated or somebody came to him, a spot opened up where he was going to dump the puck to. And when he stood at the red line, he always stood the opposite side of the benches. So he saw everybody on the ice. I saw him one night call too many men on the ice, and he was carrying the puck. And the referee started counting, and the other team had too many guys on the ice. So, he just saw the ice that well. But he was quick. And being quick, he always got himself in a position where he head fake, get the defenseman across his feet or do whatever, and bought himself that time and space. So it didn't look like he was going that fast, but he's going a little bit faster than everybody thought he was.
Now, Marty, what do you think about these skill guys in the playoffs? Claude Giroux, Sidney Crosby. They're getting a little rough and tough, dropping the mitts. You don't really see that from skill guys.
Well, I think I was a little bit confused as to Sidney really needs to just go line up for the face-off, no matter what's going on. I think what that would do is help accentuate the fact that, maybe it is the Philadelphia Flyers instigating things, but if Sidney's getting involved and he's the guy who's going out and grabbing guys, it's basically he's opening the door for all of that rough stuff to happen to him. I think Philadelphia has, in a lot of ways, been pretty easy on Sidney Crosby from a standpoint. Nobody's taken a shot at his head. Scotty Hartnell could really have tried to slug him and could have and didn't. So I think Sidney's just got to go line up and play. That's not the place of those guys. And it used to be the tough guys would look at the skilled players and say, you guys just play. Just play. If something needs to be done, I'll do it. Let's get the game back to being a good hockey game.
Did you ever see Wayne Gretzky drop the gloves?
Once. It wasn't pretty. Come on, Wayne Gretzky couldn't win a fight at home. Let's not kid each other.
We're here with Marty McSorley. Game 5, Canucks Kings. It's going to be in Vancouver. If the Kings win Game 5 and upset the Canucks, knock them out of the playoffs, what's going to happen in the city of Vancouver? They're insane about their hockey. What are they going to do up there if the Kings upset them on their own ice?
You probably know better than I do. I mean, we're all hockey fans. You know, you go in, you hope for the best, and you know you trust the guys to give their best effort, and they are. The Vancouver Canucks, they're really trying hard, and they've got some really good players on that team, and they've had some really good efforts so far in the series. I mean, there was, you know, a couple of those games could have gone either way, and you go in, you play. The Kings are not a bad hockey team. I mean, you know, look around the league. Nobody's having an easy time of it. It's that hard come playoff time, and at any given year, as Mark Messier once said, it's almost a miracle to win the Stanley Cup. So many things have to go right, you know, and a few things going wrong. And Vancouver hasn't had many bounces. They had a bounce tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Marty, you're a hockey guy. I grew up in Canada. Let's face it, hockey players, they've got their own lingo. They've got their own language that they speak. Like, for instance, they didn't play in an arena this evening. They played in a barn, and it's not a celebration. It's a celly, right? What's some of your favorite hockey lingo that other athletes don't use?
Well, I know that I asked the trainer once if the tractor was off the ice, and the guys all started to laugh at me. Or
that would be the Zamboni, right?
You know, but even like I've talked with, there was a GM I was talking to one night. He was like, "What are you talking about?" I talked about, well, the player doesn't necessarily play through the play. That he's, you know, he plays and waits for a bounce, or you know, he coming from underneath and you know, time, space, and speed, or you know, take a half a turn out, half a turn back to give yourself time. You know, that time, space, and speed, things like that. That you know, or you know, ice position. When I start to talk about ice position, people look at you strangely. But those are terms that, you know, guys have always said, you know, weak side, strong side, and things like that, that unless you've kind of been in locker rooms and in power play, penalty killing meetings and things like that, people may not know. But, gosh, I'm trying to think that just there's nothing I think that sticks out in my mind that
gong show's a term that gets used in hockey.
Yeah.
Duster.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, 7-hole.
Yeah.
The 7-hole term. That
and nicknames as well. Like when I hear the Kings players talk about Jonathan Quick, they don't call him, hey, you know, Quick played great. They say Quicker. Yeah. What was your nickname in hockey?
Well, it depends. The opposition bench tried to call me a few other names, but I could never really get the guys to fess up to it on the ice. The guys who tease me, they call me Magic. Because, you know, and I'm always trying to be a, you know, finesse player, and out in practice, you know, I jump in as a forward and try to move it around, and, you know, so the guys just shake their head and just, you know, Magic or different things, but nothing really derogatory. You know, we did have one guy we called Two People, and people said, why'd you call him Two People? And our line was, one guy could not be that dumb.
Now, I got to ask you one final question. We're going to go back to 1993 here, the Stanley Cup Finals against Montreal, Game 2. Talk to me about the curves.
You go talk to some of the Montreal Canadiens, you get the truth, and then you come back.
About the curved stick.
You get the truth on it, and you come back.
I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do that. Thank you very much, Marty.
Thank you.